I'll be talking about what goes on behind the camera and the equipments that I use. The second episode of my series Creating Content 101, and I'll be linking down below my first episode with that. And I'm such a geek about topics like this. Like, I super love the production process, the editing, and everything in between. So I'm really excited to talk about these. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Okay, so when it comes to my setup, I always prefer to go for a white wall as my background so that it will serve as an empty canvas for me, so I'll be able to play with a lot of angles, like on the middle, on the side, yep, I'm here, or even down here. This is important so that your returning audience wouldn't get tired of the same old backdrop that you were using, and you can actually switch things up a bit. And I do suggest that you invest in room decor that will serve as your trademark or something that will contribute to your branding, such as my neon sign, my plants, and also this desk that I've been using ever since I started my YouTube channel, and also this mirror. And if ever you have a small space, don't worry, I understand. I was on the same page as yours, and actually some of my friends who went to my filming area are quite surprised that my room looks big on camera, but seriously, it looks small in real life, but really it's all about the angles. So just play with them. Okay, so let's first start with the laptop that I use, aka my best friend all throughout my YouTube journey, because I've been with her for so long. All the editing nights, all the sleepless nights, I was with her, and hopefully she will not give up with me. But anyway, this is a MacBook Air. Like, pros and cons when it comes to MacBook Air, because the storage is not really that huge compared to the MacBook Pro. Because when I started with YouTube, I started with the MacBook Pro. But the case with MacBook Pro, it's super heavy. I think a huge factor why I do have scolio, although mild lang naman siya, is because I used to carry my laptop every day at school, and that was a MacBook Pro. Although my MacBook Pro kasi it was an old version, but for this one, it's super and way more lightweight. Although when it comes to storage, it doesn't hold that much, but I do have a solution for that, and I'll be talking about it later on in this video. And yes, when it comes to the laptop that I use, I really take into consideration yung storage niya because of the software that I use. And yes, this is probably the most frequent question that I get a lot. Where do I edit my videos? I use Final Cut Pro 10. Now, Final Cut Pro 10 is very beginner-friendly compared to Adobe Premiere, although I haven't tried it yet because I feel so overwhelmed like looking upon that software. So the question is, do I recommend Final Cut Pro 10? And my answer to that is definitely yes. Number one, it is worth it. And number two, what I love about Final Cut Pro 10 is that it backs up your project. So I don't have any worries at all if the software crashes. And that's when storage comes in, because your videos or your files are being backed up by the software itself. Don't worry, I'll be doing a separate episode on how I edit my videos, and I know you guys are really waiting for that. Don't worry, I think that will be the next episode after this. Alright, now let's move on to lighting, shall we? If you're a beginner, do not worry about lighting equipment, because the best lighting that you can have is, ladies and gentlemen, natural sunlight. As you guys can notice, I am just beside this huge window. If you're a beginner, don't be too pressured to have those lighting setups agad-agad. You know, you can save up for it. But for now, I do have two softbox lights. So this is what my filming setup looks like with my studio softbox lights, and they're both beside my camera. They were given to me by Sean, just my birthday this year. I believe he gave me that because he knows how much I am struggling when it comes to time management when I am filming, and most of my videos kasi are try-on hauls, and it takes time to do try-on hauls, I swear. Now, some of you guys might ask, why did I go for two softbox lights instead of a ring light? Which one is better? Originally, as what I've researched, you'll be needing those three because you'll be putting the ring light behind the camera, and you'll be putting two softbox lights beside the camera so that the lighting will be all balanced. But if you're balling on a budget and you're torn between two, I suggest that you go for this softbox lights. For preference lang, I want my lighting to be balanced na parang left and right yung panggagalingan ng source of light instead of like boom, lighting on your face na isa lang. Well, the boom. Okay, so now let's talk about the cameras that I use. The Fujifilm X-A7 camera. Can I just say that this is such a dream come true, because back when I was using Tumblr, all I wanted was this camera because the bloggers use it, the OG bloggers use it, and I was just an aspiring blogger, and I can't believe that I am one of their ambassadors now. Like, oh, it's so unreal. I can't believe I have this camera for free. But anyway, this is such an amazing vlogging camera. I'll be listing down below in the description box all the specs of this camera. But for now, I'll be focusing more on what I love about this when it comes to my own experience and, you know, the highlights of it. Let's first talk about the overall look of the camera, and I have to say that this is one of my favorite parts because it looks so vintage and aesthetic, which is what Fujifilm is known for, right? I also love the fact that it is mirrorless, so it is also lightweight and you can carry it so easily everywhere you go. It won't be a hassle to film and vlog your day. And then for the screen, I am used to like having this vlogging camera that tilts the screen upwards. But this one, I realized that this is much better because you could like flip it like this. If you're filming a flat lay, it would be easier. Fujifilm is also known for the quality of their photos, and I could attest to that because it's way easier to take photos ever since I got this. Like, I would ask a friend perhaps to take a photo of me. That's why this is such a time-saving camera for me when it comes to taking photos, because I don't know, there's like magic in this camera. Since Fujifilm is really known for its photos, with this camera, I could really tell that they also leveled up when it comes to their video. And by the way, there's also a mic port, so that's a plus point about this because not all vlogging cameras have mic ports. And this camera actually performs really good even in low light situations because you don't have to worry about the quality depreciating. You can actually manipulate the brightness directly and also the depth of field, which is kayo lang yung clear and then the background is quite blurred. Overall, I'm really happy about this camera, and watch out for my future vlogs so you guys would see my experience, my whole experience with this camera. And I also use a phone, and by the way, this is an iPhone 7 Plus. I use this mainly to edit my Instagram photos, but sometimes I do use this as my vlogging camera since it works. It pretty much works since I use this whenever I don't feel like bringing a camera with me or I forgot to bring a camera. And then I also have the Canon M100, and this is what I usually use for my sit-down videos. And this is actually my first ever vlogging camera that I really saved up for because I used to use our old camera, DSLR camera, but I'll get to that later on. But this is actually just secondhand. I bought this at Carousel, and it really works even if it's secondhand. So if you're like balling on a budget, or you're like a student or a creator na you really have to save up for an equipment, you could actually settle for secondhand because it works. I reached 200k with my secondhand camera, and I don't know, it's much more inspiring or motivating to do or create content if you really work hard on your equipments, just like what happened with this camera. So, nakikinig pala kayo, akala ko CR kayo. Always you need a tripod, and I don't need to explain this further. Just trust me, you need it because it will make your life easier. Hard drives, you need these bad boys because honestly, it saved my life for a lot of times already. It backs up your file, you need it for storage. And if you're a memory hoarder like me, you need this. And if you're not a memory hoarder like me, you're lucky because I guess you just need one. But for me, I need more of these. Now, if you're a beginner, don't be too pressured to have all of these equipments all at once, especially if you're starting. Just work with what you have. In my case, I actually started with this DSLR camera, and I had such a hard time with this. It's super frustrating like when I was starting because A, the screen couldn't be tilted at all, so I can't see what's going on, and B, the lenses are not on this autofocus mode. That's why sometimes I film this scenes and I have no idea that it's all blurred. That's why I really had a hard time with that camera. I remember I had to refilm thrice or even 5 times. But then I realized, what if I gave up on that 5th try? I wouldn't have these equipments that I have right now. So again, main takeaway for this video is work with what you have. It doesn't matter what equipments you are using. Maybe you are using this mobile phone to watch this video. You could use that if you want to be a content creator. But if you want to reach to a point na you want to get serious with content creation, huwag kayong manghinayang mag-invest sa good camera and also sa mga gears if you just work hard to reach that goal. Alright, so that's about it for this video. I hope you learned a thing or two, and comment down below what else you want to see in this series on how to be a content creator or creating content 101 rather. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video.